Hey everybody, it's Famine. Today we're going to be making some tiny containers full of space fruit. Right now, as you can see, I'm starting off with a pile of money from the Batman Penguin action figure, and I'm going to be using some peppercorns that I picked out that have a lot of good texture to them to make some type of, space fruit, space food, vegetables and whatnot. Here I've just got 2 bottle caps that are glued together and just nested those together with some super glue, and I'm going to be using some much larger pickling seeds that actually are going to look like little coconuts. They're not going to be your average coconut though. They're going to be a bright color. I just haven't decided yet at this point what color it's going to be. So here I am setting up, and what we're going to use is a nice sanding stick to just rough up the sides, take any coatings off that might be on this money, and also scuff up the bottom as well, just so that when I put paint on it, it takes it nicely. And I'm also cleaning it up a little bit so that when the glue goes on, it adheres better. Cleaning up the lip of these bottle caps and also the bottom because we want everything to stick. Here I'm showing you the magic sauce, which is Mod Podge, and what I'm doing is kind of using a makeshift wet palette there because I don't want the Mod Podge to go on too thick, and I'm coating the entire box. I'm calling it a box from now on, that stack of money, and I'm also coating the bottle cap just to make the paint adhere a little bit better and make everything blend together when it's done. Letting those dry a little bit, and you can see this is at about 5 times the speed. I am not this fast. My paintbrush would probably catch on fire. Cleaned up the workspace a little. I'm going to be using some Eileen's tacky glue and hot glue for this project, so I just wanted to point that out to the camera and let you guys know what's going on there. So here we got the close-up shot. I'm letting you guys know I'm giving everything a coating of black matte acrylic paint. I want this to be the base color all the way around for it. Gives a protective coating along with the Mod Podge, really helps build everything up, and gives a good primer so that the colors pop when you put them on. Doing the exterior of the dish, the 2 glued together bottle caps, and also the interior. This way, if there's any light gaps, it just looks like, it's a deep container. And here I am struggling to paint the bottom of the cap because I don't have the patience. So we've switched over a cold hot glue gun, a much cooler hot glue gun than, my Gorilla Glue one, and I'm just pressing down these little peppercorns into the hot glue, treating it essentially like a clay, pushing them in there, and then I'm stacking them up, and what I'm going to do here is use just a little bit of Eileen's tacky glue across the top to give these something to grab teeth onto. Wetting my brush and just going over that to kind of make the Eileen's a little bit runnier. It was a little bit thicker than I remembered it coming out, but that's just me. And then I'm going ahead and attaching these little peppercorns to that glue pile, pushing them in between with the other ones so that they all blend together. Cleaning the last of the pieces off the workstation, the ones that keep falling off, and setting that aside. And now I've got an empty cup that I can use for paint later. And then here I'm just pumping a pretty good load of thick cold glue in there, and I'm using those bigger seeds that are from the pickling spices to just load this container up, fill it in, and make it look really nice like it's full of space coconuts. Again, Eileen's tacky glue. I'm just tabbing these guys in there and placing them in the pot to make it look like it's full. I got this little wooden crate from, I want to say it was Michael's when they had the dollhouse furniture and stuff on sale. What I did was take the smaller of the 2, and I cut some cardstock from a box of cold medicine, and I put a piece of sponge inside to take up space because I don't want it to look like a particular, crate. I want it to look like a container that's used to hold fruit and not earth fruit, if you follow what I'm saying. And here's what we're going to fill it up with. We've got these glass pearl beads. They're from Joann's, I believe, from the jewelry making section, and I'm using the smallest ones so that they look like they're about hand-sized for one of the 1/18 scale action figures. Here's where we're at now. As you can see, I painted the exterior of that red, starting to do the containers first before I do the fruit. And I really like the way that this one's coming out so far. I'm very excited. Everything's looking good with that black base coat over top of it, and like I said, did the exterior in red, the bottom in black, because that's going to be sitting on the table. No one's going to see that. I did go over top of everything once with a blended wash of super glue, Eileen's tacky glue, and Mod Podge, and a little bit of water. I do not recommend you use a brush that you love for that because it will wreck it. Here I'm showing you I did like a tarnished brass, copper-ish container look for it. And then here we have the hand fruit, all loaded up into this crate, and right now I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to paint this? What color? And I also did do just a super glue glaze over the top of that. This way, if I drop that off of a shelf or I decide to sell it one day, it's going to be rugged, it's going to be sturdy, nothing's coming out of there. It's in there. It's locked into that little crate, so, you know, the beads don't pop off and roll all over the place, or show the shiny gloss pearl color underneath the bottom if one of those pieces do come off. Here's where we're at with these. I did several dry brushes of blue on these space coconuts. That's what I'm calling them. They're space coconuts. And then I did a neon blue, you know, dry brush over top of them, and then I glazed them with some of that neon purple in the back, and it really gave these like a high intensity electric blueberry color, which I really liked. And then they're going to get a gloss glaze of Mod Podge, some high gloss Mod Podge, mixed with a little bit of water over top just to give them some sort of shine, so you don't know if they're the type of fruit that's wet when you handle it, or if it's one of those, you know, it's got a hard glossy shell to it before you open it up. Here we have our spicy space cabbage. I'm going to go ahead past this point here. You see I did yellow over top of it, and just take a neon orange and hit all those high spots so it looks like a leafy vegetable, and it, you know, conveys spicy, kind of like in the wild where peppers are bright colors to make them look hot. And then this guy, it's just doing a bit of drying. I put on the outside black coat. I'm going to do the same over top of everything else, but I want it to dry first. I'm using Tamiya fine line detailing tape to go ahead and put a white stripe on this crate, this box, to make it appear as though it's like almost like one of the Coca-Cola vintage containers. And I'm just using a scrap piece of sponge and a little bit of white model paint, and I'm just dabbing it onto that space, and then when I peel it off, that's what it looks like. I really dig this look, and it reminds me of the old Coke crates. Here's the crate all done up with a glossy dry brush, a glossy white dry brush. I didn't want everything to be matte. I wanted it to appear like it's made out of a different material called plastiwood, something that's going to be built within the lore of Gimmick. I wanted to show that off, and I will further expand on that, but there's going to be either a distribution center or some type of refinery where they make plastiwood, and that crate is made out of it. Here I've gone ahead and made some markings on either side of the crate which show which type of currency they take: coins, credits, and dollars from other countries, other planets, other globes, and also it indicates trade. And then on the side in Arabic it says fruit, F-R-O-O-T, and that's how it's pronounced there. These are some green hand fruits. There's 3 or 4 different types of green on there. I did hit it with a neon dry brush before I sealed it in. As you can see, this is our lovely bar maiden. She's the owner and proprietor of the little cantina that's the hole in the wall by the end of the street, on the lower level. She is made up of a Leia Organa figure from the last sequel movie, but I had swapped her with one of the heads from the Fallout Build-A-Figure packages, and as you can see, I gave her some lovely green skin. Shout out to Mothchild Cosplay, who advised me to do a blue wash to help bring out the details on the face. I think that really turned out well. And what I did as far as the clothes goes is that's a fun one. As far as I did for the clothes, I ditched that giant oversized jacket. I'll put a picture right here of the original outfit. I ditched the oversized jacket. I gave her basically a full body repaint, did a dry brush that was a zenithal highlight over the whole thing, and then did a series of washes. I made that skirt out of some netting from like a zipper pencil case and added that around. I added some harnesses and gave her a couple of bracelets, made things different, painted up her jewelry, did her hair. My girlfriend suggested the pink hair, and I think that turned out really good. So let's turn her around. I don't have the turntable here, but she is wearing a Weyland-Yutani jacket that she got, a vest, excuse me, and that was from one of the astronauts that was on planet. Bargained and traded for it, and now that's her daily wear. So let me get the jacket off and show you what else I did. I made a harness and basically a money credit carrier to go around her waist, kind of like a metallic space fanny pack. I always liked those on the taxi cabs and vendors. You would see them at street festivals back in the 80s. They'd have this thing that would like dispense coins or money when they put it in. And I thought that was a neat idea, so I had this Gravely and I made one up. Made the belt, made the harness. The harness does go all the way around the back. And I'm really happy with this figure. Really happy with the way all these customs came out. So I'm glad you guys stuck around. I appreciate the views. I super appreciate the support on the channel. So again, just want to thank everybody. I hope you're well. I hope things are going great for you. Be well. Stay good. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching Famine Studios. Bye.